This video was sponsored by Squarespace. One of my favorite projects that I've ever made is the cardboard set by the French artist Jacques Monroe. Since then, I've been itching to make more illusion pottery. So when I saw these leather mugs by American artist Sarah Gromek, I knew I'd have to try it. So in this week's Steal Like an Artist video, I'm going to attempt to make clay look like leather. Let's get into it. I'm going to start with 2, just in case I mess the first one up. I want to give a larger than usual shout out to Sarah Gromek, the original artist behind the leather cups, because when I'm making these videos, when I'm copying another artist's work, there's always like a bit of like guessing and like trying to figure it out. And I just like stalk the hell out of them and try and figure out, how are they doing these things? Sarah Gromek basically posts everything. Like you can really tell that she's a teacher because she's so open to sharing every single element of her process. And this is a very technical process. There's going to be a lot of steps of things that I would never have thought to do. So huge shout out to her. As always, all of the original artist's information is down below in the description box. I'll have her Etsy shop listed down there as well. Pretty happy with these. I'm a little bit confused why one of them is clearly bigger than the other. Not sure if the walls are thicker on this one. Like where did the clay go? You know what I mean? Or maybe I just measured badly on my scale. Totally fine. They're close enough. I'm going to let these dry now. I can't really do anything else. I need to let them dry a little bit before I can trim them. But the one thing that I can do today still is roll out a slab of clay. We're going to be slab building the handles so that they look like leather. So let's do that. By the way, the clay that I'm using, I'm not sure how it's going to look. I chose the clay that is the most similar to leather color. It's definitely not the same clay that Sarah Gromek uses because, she lives on a different continent than me. I don't have access to her clay, but I hope it will look a little bit like leather. You never know. We shall see. Actually, the glaze, I'm going to put a transparent glaze on this clay, and I don't think I've ever used this clay with transparent glaze because normally I think it looks kind of ugly. But I think with the right technique and the right surface treatment, I think it could look good, and I think it could look like leather. Oh, and if you are local, this is Pour SF by Payuya. Okay, I'm going to let everything dry out, and tomorrow we can get back to it. See you then. It's the next day. Last night, when these were able to support themselves, I went ahead and flipped them over so that the bottoms could dry. And now, step number 1, we're going to trim them. And then I think we're gonna spend most of the day at the table here because all of that, the detail work, that's where it really turns into leather. So this little slab that's actually perfect is going to turn into a handle somehow. We shall see. These are a little bit on the dry side now. I should have covered them with some cloth, but I think it's gonna be okay. When I threw these, I tried to curve the bottom a little bit so it wasn't just like the wall and then a flat bottom. I'm hoping that it's a little bit curved because actually Sarah Gromek doesn't throw her pots, she actually hand builds them. And the bottoms are shaped in a way that's kind of like, it almost looks like it would be wobbly, but I think the actual center of the bottom is stable enough. So I'm gonna try and imitate that kind of curved bottom. There's a little curve on the inside here. We shall see how curvy I can get it. And then basically we're just getting rid of the excess. So you can see I left this kind of like ridge. That's going to help create the illusion that this bottom is just like placed on top of it. So it's not like an extension of the walls, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think this is correct. I'm also gonna take this moment to buff the hell out of these walls to get rid of all the throwing lines and to get it like burnished. I feel like that's good. I think I'm skeptical because it's all going too smooth so far. Let's see. I wish that this was bigger. Like, I wish there was more of a difference here, but there's not enough clay. I can't actually trim off anymore. So I added a little line with my needle tool to kind of create a shadow, like a false shadow there. And I think I'm gonna add that to this one as well. So it really looks like they're two separate things being stuck together. I think that helps. We shall see. Okay, let's move over to the table. Okay, I didn't think of this. I should have thought of this. I'm realizing there's a downside to throwing these pots instead of hand building them, which is that there's not this seam right here. That's kind of a problem. And I don't trust myself to add clay to make that like fake seam because I feel like I'm not gonna get it looking smooth as it needs to be. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do, like add an extra piece on top, sort of like how she did with the handles. I can't find any examples of her doing that, but I'm thinking I'm gonna try it on one seat first and see how it looks, but like basically add like a patch on top of it, so make it look like it's connecting two pieces together and then a chunk on top of it. I think that's a way that I can still make it look like it's been connected without having that overlap. We'll see, we'll try it on one and yeah, see how it goes. So I'm gonna roll out a 1/2 centimeter clay because this is 1 centimeter, it's too thick for this. Can you tell? I've started to get stressed. That's because I've reached the end of my confidence now. I'm going to alter this rim first. So if the seam is here, we can kind of make this look like two pieces. That look like a crack? Not sure how I feel about that. I'm not sure. I feel like it's too thick. But with the handle, it might look kind of cool. Okay. I made a little stencil for my handle. What do we think about this? I feel like that's right. You get your finger in, it'll just be like a little 1 finger mug with another resting finger up beneath that. I don't know. Let's try it. Let's take a little break to talk about today's sponsor, Squarespace. If you've never heard about Squarespace before, they are an all-in-one website platform that artists and entrepreneurs use to stand out online. I've personally been using Squarespace ever since I started my online business because it has incredibly easy to use features, including their drag and drop website builder and integrated SEO tools. Whether you're just starting out or managing a thriving brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website to sell anything from physical products to memberships, digital products, and even services. You can also schedule appointments, create on-brand invoices, and send newsletters. And for the artists watching, you will love their cutting-edge design tools, where you can create a bespoke website that perfectly fits your brand or business. So head to squarespace.com right now for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/pottery to the people for 10% off your very first website or domain. Now let's get back to the video. Now comes the tricky part, because I need to try to roll a perfect coil, perfectly thick coil, that is going to make the little ring. Now, the original artist, Sarah, she has an extruder, like a little handheld extruder, that will make this process a heck of a lot easier. I do not have that. I do have an extruder, but it is massive, and I don't think, it might have those thin little guys, but I don't wanna use it because I would have to use so much clay. It'd just be really wasteful. So we're gonna try it, and I suppose that's my backup plan. Does it look like a rivet? I mean, so ignore the inside because that part's gonna get cut out. I'm not so sure. I guess like the color change over the rivet is a big part of making it look convincing. Just gonna go with it. So next I need to, I'm still upset that I think my patch is too thick, but I'm gonna add the little seams next to the handle so I can attach the handle. I'm gonna add the rivet to the other side. I just need this side to dry first, but I'm gonna make those first. Then you just kind of slide the handle in, which is really crazy. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna use 3mm instead now for my seams because 0.5 centimeter is too thick. I'm gonna add the handle on this side instead of this side because although you're not gonna see it when you're drinking it if you're right-handed, I don't wanna put my lip on this, you know? So I want the clean side for my hand. That's my strategy behind that. My little slot where my handle to squeeze into. My question for Sarah is, how are you adding the second grommet without squishing the first one? That's my question. Maybe she just lets them dry. I feel like the best thing to do would be to let this dry under plastic for 24 hours before we try and attach them. But I am feeling impatient. I want to attach this today. I don't know, maybe there's a certain amount of like the glaze will make it look better. Let me let this dry for a little bit, and then what I can do now is add the stitching. So I got this little leather stitch marker. This is actually like a leather working tool. Again, thanks to Sarah for recommending what the right tool because I had no idea. It does come with different sizes, but I think, yeah, that's so cool because it marks the clay exactly like it would mark the leather. And between these stitch holes, we're going to add the actual stitches. That we're going to do tomorrow, though. I definitely can't do that today, I think. Well, we'll see. So maybe I should have done this before adding these things. Maybe I should have done that. I'm gonna try and do as straight as possible. How does she do this so straight? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I wasn't too bad, I suppose. I mean, a lot is gonna get covered up with the actual stitching. I think maybe it's better to do when the clay is softer, so we try here. I'm just kicking myself because this clay is too thick, it's bothering me. This takes a very steady hand and it's very scary. I mean, it does look cool. I feel like I'm gonna use this just as like a way to make patterns. Okay. I'm gonna cut out the hole and then we can attach it. And then I feel like that's kind of it. Why do I feel like I should have cut out the hole before I attached the grommet part? Ooh, 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 cutting into the grommet. This is absolutely not the right way to do this. I just completely destroyed this. Oh my God. How? I think it's salvageable, but my God, does it look ugly right now. Next time I'm gonna try cutting first, because remember, we got a second one. Maybe it's just going to look like an old weathered grommet instead of, you know, a nice shiny new one, which I guess is fine. I feel like the glaze is gonna do a lot of the heavy lifting here, so I feel like it's gonna be fine. Let's attach this. Okay, what do we think? What do we think? Does it look terrible or does it look like something? Things I like. The stitching is awesome and I think my seam is convincing and the handle is okay. Things I hate. My rivet looks awful, I think. I don't know, we'll see if the glaze helps with how it looks. And then this damn patch is too thick, but I'm not gonna take it off. We're just gonna go with it. We've learned a lot. Let's apply these learnings to the second one. I need to eat some lunch and I'm going to let these sit under plastic because I think I can actually add the stitching today because I have leftover slip from my crane. Remember my paper crane? I'm gonna try and use that as stitching, but I'm going to let them homogenize for about an hour while I eat lunch and then we can try and add the stitching. Let's do it. Okay, so I have this slip left over from that crane, the origami crane video. Oh my God, I'm gonna open it. Which, by the way, was an awesome video. Go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. But this is already sieved, so it should be pretty good slip. And then I did just buy these squirt bottle doodahs. This is from Jean Tools, and I bought these because until now I really only had like something like this precise. It's not precise enough. I needed something very fine like this. It comes with all sorts of different tips. So I'll just use this one. So I need to do a little bit of experimenting what will be the right tip. I don't do a lot of slip work, so I don't know. We'll see how this goes. What do we think? Maybe this guy or maybe this guy? Like I've always found working with slip really hard, but maybe by having the right tool, it's actually gonna work better. I feel like the slip is too wet. I'm gonna try a size down. It's actually looking a little better. I'm gonna see if I can get the thicker stuff at the bottom. Some of these look really good, but some of them look kind of sloppy. The thin one is just getting clogged. I actually don't know what the issue is. Certainly what an issue is that I just don't have a ton of experience doing slip trailing. I'm just gonna go for it. That's what we're working with here. It's a little sloppy, but I think I just have to go for it. I mean, I could try and make a thicker slip, but my fear then is that it's gonna clog. So I really don't know. Let me know. If you know what I should do in the situation, let me know down in the comments. I wonder if there's like, I feel like there's probably like some sort of additive you can add to the slip to make it more like gloopy, but without making it too thick that it can go through the needle hole thing. But let's give it a try. Close up, it looks like a hot mess, but I feel like once you sit like, you know, a little bit back, it feels convincing, at least parts of it. There's definitely a learning curve here. I got better throughout just making this one mug, so we'll see how the second one goes. You know, something I haven't actually quite decided is, originally I was planning on glazing this. So this is the color of the clay after it's fired. It's quite different, it's much darker. And I think that this is passable leather. Originally, I was planning on doing a layer of transparent glaze over it, but like looking at my swatch now, this looks so milky. I don't think that this looks good at all. So I'm thinking I should just leave it unglazed. And then this, by the way, is gonna be the white. So it's gonna be these colors, mostly this color. I mean, obviously I have to glaze the inside to make it usable, and I'm gonna glaze the grommet. We are gonna add red iron oxide. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. Let's do the other one. You know what it looks like? It looks like someone who isn't very good at leather stitching. That's what it looks like. But it looks like leather, I think. Loading them into the kiln today. I know the color is looking crazy right now. It's not looking anything like leather. I promise you it's gonna darken, it's gonna get more brown, it's gonna look more like leather in its final color. But right now it's just bisqued, and this is the color that this clay is when it's bisqued. So I want to do a few little surface design things to finish this up before we put them in the final fire. One, we are going to put a red oxide glaze all over this, and that's going to really define some of these details. Two is a step that we're actually going to skip, which the original artist does, which they add borax to their piece. I could not for the life of me find borax anywhere. If you're from Germany and you know where you can get borax, let me know, because like in the US you can buy it at the grocery store and it's like a very common item. I couldn't find it. So we're not gonna do the borax. Hopefully it's going to be, you know, looking similar enough without the borax. And then three, we're going to glaze the inside and the, what is it called? The grommet. We're gonna glaze the inside and the grommet with my matte black. So this is a red iron oxide, and I feel like I've used oxides enough on this channel, so you kind of like know how I'm going to apply this. I have two different oxides. You've seen me use the black one in the past. This is the red one, and as you can imagine, it's slightly more red. It is still like quite brownish though. So we're just gonna give it a wash. Just gonna add a little bit. I never know how much to add, honestly. Something like that. And some water. I'm just gonna lay it on here. It's gonna make a little bit of a mess. Be forewarned. And try and get it in all of the crevices. This is going to give it that worn leather look. Okay, so I wiped them back, and I don't know if you can tell because it's like red on red and it's probably a little bit hard for you to see, but the oxide just kind of settles in like all the crevices and stuff, and I think it's gonna look good. The other thing that Sarah Gromek does is she uses a magic eraser to clean up the stitching part, because it's kind of hard to get the stitching clean from the oxide, and we want that to look like quite contrasted. So I did manage to get a magic eraser, and I'm just gonna kind of see if I can pull that off. I've never used one of these before, but that works pretty good, I think. Yeah, see, it's coming off. Again, like I wouldn't have never thought of this. So like, again, thanks to Sarah Gromek for, you know, sharing all of her secrets. That's so cool. It works really well. So like, let me show you. There's a before. So look at the stitching on the bottom. After. I think that works pretty good. Okay, last thing I need to do is apply a glaze. And I'm using, once again, this Anthracite by Bisque. This is my matte black. And honestly, I feel kind of annoying because I'm using it for like everything. Like, I don't know, but it just looks so good for so many projects. It's like the obvious glaze to use. And I don't have anything metallic. So I thought I would just use something like the matte black sort of looks metallic even though it's not metallic, you know what I mean? And luckily I put in some Glazurkleber, like glaze glue. And so that means I can paint this, which is going to be really helpful for the grommet. It's actually getting kind of low. I need to buy some more soon. First I'm just gonna paint the inside. And I did put the oxide on the inside too, like mostly because it dripped in there. And I just want to make sure that, you know, in case the oxide interacts with the glaze, that the entire inside is having a little bit of oxide so that, you know, the glaze is stable throughout, you know, having the same ingredients. I fear that the glaze on the inside is going to destroy the illusion a little bit because, like, why would it be metallic on the inside? But these are like functional cups. Like, I want them to be functional. If I left it unglazed, I couldn't drink out of them, right? And with my cardboard series, that was another Steal Like an Artist video, people were upset because like I didn't glaze the inside and so therefore I couldn't drink out of it. And like those pieces were not functional to begin with. Like all of those crevices and stuff, like that is sculpture in the shape of a vessel. Those aren't functional. And I do have them displayed in my living room right now because I freaking love them. But I do want these to be functional because I think, you know, why not? That's more fun. I think the rim though, I shall leave unglazed. I'll just try and get like a really nice crisp line on that transition. That's what we're looking at. I know these are looking like hot garbage right now. I promise you they're not going to look like that when they're done. It might look like hot garbage for a completely other reason that I haven't thought of yet. But right now, I feel like we're on track. We have to trust the process here. My biggest fear right now is that the clay is just not going to be the right color to look like leather. This is the clay. This is the clay that we're using. And I feel like this could easily look like leather. We shall see. Because that's gonna be like a massive part of this illusion. Okay, they're ready to go in the kiln. Pray to the kiln gods for me. I have been filming all morning in the other room and I have been anxiously waiting for this thing to be cool enough to unload. It's finally cool enough. Is it gonna look like leather? Okay. What do we think? Oh my goodness. Should we do positives or negatives first? Positives. I think the stitching is convincing. I think the color is right on. And I like my little patch. I love that. I think that that looks really, really cool. I do think that my grommet could use work. This grommet looks messy as hell. And I guess I thought that the glaze was gonna smooth out more. So when I applied it all patchy, I thought some glazes do smooth out more than others. And this one, I guess, doesn't. The inside, oh yeah, you can see that. The inside is like bumpy from all of my splatters. I'm a little bummed about the glaze that I used, I must say. The other thing that I think is throwing off the illusion is that you can see there's this slight curve here. I don't know, can you see that? There's this slight, it should be straight. And I don't know why I didn't notice that during the making process, but it is bothering me now. This one's a little bit better. It's a little like bowed out here, like this is a peak here. I don't know if you can tell. Overall, I struggle because I can't tell. I can't tell, does the illusion work? You have to tell me because I've been looking at these for way too long and I cannot tell. I think that the color is very convincing, but are the throwing lines throwing you off? I should have burnished them. That must be how the original artist makes them so smooth because she did mention burnishing and I was just like, oh. I guess she also doesn't throw them. That could be a huge part of it too. Maybe I should really have hand built these. Well, I feel like I'm being really negative right now. I do like them, I swear to you, I do like them. It's just really hard for me to see past the mistakes. So I don't know. You let me know down below in the comments what you think and maybe what I should do different if I was going to try this again. You know what I think really, really works is the red iron oxide. Like if you can see how that is just defining those edges and making them look a lot more like dirty, like real leather would. And also in the stitching, it really adds a lot of dimension. So iron oxide for the win. So as always with the Steal Like an Artist videos, I'm not going to be selling these. If you want a pair of pots like these and made even better than these, go check out the original artist. I'm going to have her Instagram and her web shop linked down below. So go check her out if you want a leather mug. And otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, friends.